AITA for refusing to make lasagna for Christmas after what my mill did last year. I, 30F, have been together with my husband Michael, 31 meters, for 7 years, married for 3 and dating for 4. My mill, 58F, has always hosted Christmas ever since I've known him. I've always made lasagna for Christmas and other special occasions. I'm essentially the family lasagna maker. And I honestly don't really mind since I love to cook and bake. However, last year my mill decided to make lasagna based off what she saw me doing when she was at my house. And a recipe she got off the internet. I was surprised that she prepared a pan of her own, but didn't say anything and even got a small piece. It did not taste good, and it was barely touched whilst mine had almost half gone near the end of the dinner. That infuriated my mill, and she wound up doing a rant about how everyone loves me more than and tried to throw my lasagna in the trash. I say tried because it mainly ended up on the floor. Michael and I quickly left after that, and my mill has not apologized for it since. Yesterday she called me to confirm what I was making for Christmas this year. And on her list of things I should make was lasagna. I politely said I wasn't going to make lasagna due to last year's incident and I'd be happy to make anything else. My mill wasn't as polite and called me vindictive for refusing to make the lasagna over a small mistake. I just refused again and it made my mill angrier, so she told me that unless I show up with lasagna in hand, she wouldn't let me be at the Christmas celebration. My husband says it's easier to just make the lasagna to keep the peace. And I shouldn't hold my MIL's mistake that she made out of anger against her. Word got to my Sil and Bill from my mill and they're saying I should also make it even if it's just half of what I would usually make. My husband says it's easier to just make the lasagna to keep the peace. And I shouldn't hold my MIL's mistake that she made out of anger against her. Sounds like he just volunteered to make the lasagna. NTA. Easier for who? Her? BC she doesn't have to make anything and can continue to just pretend nothing happened and not take any responsibility for her temper tantrum? That's the only person it sounds like it would be easier for. Why should the bad actor get it easy? If anyone should get an easy go of it, it should be the person who suffered BC of her actions. NTA. I'm sorry your husband doesn't have your back. He really should. I don't KNW if you could win this one. If he doesn't have your back. But Petty Me would buy Stouffer's lasagna and dump it on her counter when you get there. NTA. NTA. Personally I would not even go there for Christmas as your mill has not apologized for last year's behavior. No one can force you to make anything. It is also childish of her to bring the rest of the family into it. Skip the whole thing. NTA. I hate people saying do it to keep the peace. How about your husband tell his mom to apologize or neither of you will be at Christmas dinner. Sil and Bill need to be talked to as well. Stay home and make lasagna for you and your husband. NTA. Tell your husband to make it. After all, it's his mother. NTA. She told you that you weren't invited if you didn't bring lasagna? Oh hell no, and hubby better have your back on this. Time to book a Christmas getaway for you and hubby. Just buy a family-size lasagna, get the cheapest one. NTA. I wouldn't even go until she apologized to everyone for her tantrum and you for trying to throw away and ruining the leftovers. Yes, you just doing it would be easier for him and for her. But where does that leave you? The target of more of her tantrums, no thanks. Maybe your husband should make the lasagna, since he can't be bothered to have your back. NTA. But your husband is a massive one. So are your in-laws. And your mill sounds positively unhinged. If it were me, This is the hill I'd die on. There's no way I'd go to her house again. Ever. For any reason. That level of meanness and disrespect, you're not welcome unless you bring the lasagna I threw in the trash last year is some breathtaking assholery. NTA. There's no such thing as keeping the peace. It's simply shutting yourself down to placate self-absorbed people. Make lasagna and enjoy it at home. AITA. Don't cave in. Your husband should be backing you up. You have a husband problem. No apology from your mill means no go. She told me that unless I show up with lasagna in hand, she wouldn't let me be at the Christmas celebration. NTA and congratulations. She just gave you explicit permission to make other plans. After her trying to upstage you, throwing a ridiculous tantrum when it didn't work, failing to apologize for all this nonsense, and presenting you with an ultimatum. I wouldn't go, and I would die on that hill. Nor would I ever contribute again. If your husband wants to appease her, he can make his own damn lasagna and attend Xmas alone. If I were you, I would reach out to the other relatives that attend and explain how you're sorry. But don't feel comfortable bringing that dish, and that since Mill won't allow you over without the lasagna, you'll be spending Christmas elsewhere. I certainly hope your husband sees this post and grows a MF spine. He needs to stand up for you and tell mommy that her behavior is rude and unacceptable, and that she needs to provide a heartfelt apology. Also, make sure you hide your lasagna recipe. Tell your husband it would be easier, and keep the peace, if she had apologized. As it is, he can make lasagna if his mother's feelings are more important to him than yours. NTA. I'd respond with, "What's the small mistake you made? Can you tell me what you understand the mistake to be?" Quote, I want to know if she says making the lasagna because she wanted to compete, having a tantrum because no one liked her untested lasagna, or her having a fit and throwing your food on the floor. Which part was a mistake? And also, how fires she define mistake? I would 100% not go to this party. You are a lasagna hostage and your husband doesn't have your back. Mill can only treat you as bad as you tolerate. NTA, of course. Keeping the peace? Ask hubby whose peace? That's right up there with be the bigger person, hence allowing the disrespect to continue. Hard pass. In fact, a quiet Christmas at home sounds good. Bud. She threw a tantrum and tried to dump your lasagna in the trash, dumping it on the floor in the process. She's not sorry. Why in the hell are you even considering attending this cursed event? NTA. Definitely don't cook for this person, obvi. But why go at all? NTA. Over a mistake? Nope. No. Nah. She was vindictive and childish, while also being super reactive. She threw your lasagna on the floor and in the garbage? Now you are not invited unless you bring more? I appreciate your invite for the holidays, but unfortunately I'm unable to meet your high expectations that come with my attendance. Happy holidays. Your husband needs to find his shiny spine. Try to have some understanding that this is an abusive control tactic, and everybody asking you to cave is probably super traumatized and trying to avoid the fallout, but that's not your issue to resolve. I wouldn't show up for Christmas.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.